regional framework. Mr. Scott has significant experience in the ideation, planning, and the portfolio management for standards development in the National Committee of Experts on Circular Economy Matters. Mr. Scott was part of the global community who met in Paris, France in 2019 to define, elaborate, create an internationally agreed framework for circular economy and associated standards.
Learn, hopefully, about the latest
and a topic that's very, very in order to be accepted, in order to be quality businesses. Structure, and there too, we promote quality to drive businesses. Minds of the world when it comes to quality infrastructure. We have the international community represented by the International Organization
is that to make a difference, we need to act today, because whatever we do today will only be reflected in the reality in a 10, 15 years time. So that, and in that context, we are also revising the ISO strategy, which, as I have mentioned before, is a human-centric strategy. It's not about standards, it's not about technical specifications, it's about people. Making people's life simpler, better, and safer. So, to make people's life better, we also need to provide environmental sustainability as one of the priorities of the ISO strategy. This is what we will propose to the General Assembly now in September, to make sure that this sense of urgency, this sense of priority is properly reflected in the ISO strategy. So, to talk about how we will do this in practice, to go beyond our work,
concepts, what I found extremely interesting was the fact that it was detailed that everyone can put in place a net zero initiative in country. Everyone, regardless of where your starting point is.
Emisiones. Sobre cómo se ha utilizado en relaciones, por ejemplo, esta norma está llegando al momento de su revisión y este proceso se va a iniciar. Entonces, actualmente estamos intentando efectivamente obtener información al respecto. Es lo mejor que tengo actualmente, pero estamos efectivamente.
Sergio, no se escucha.
Perdón.
Tenemos una consulta para Noelia y para Sergio también. ¿Existe dentro de los planes de capacitación de ISO entregar capacitación específica en estos temas que han abordado sobre el acompañamiento de las normas en las distintas etapas de la adaptación al cambio climático y en específico de la ISO 42? Me refiero a una capacitación que pueda ser otorgada a un organismo o varios organismos de normalización miembros y que estos a su vez puedan invitar a sus stakeholders, principalmente los del mundo público, que deben estar mirando este tema. Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you for that response. Any other questions from the floor? Are there any hands raised online? Okay, so if not, we would really like to thank both of you, both Sergio and Noelia, for your contributions. I think I already have learnt a lot in the session, and we're only the first speaker in. But it's really important as countries to learn, what processes are happening at the international level. What communities are there in order for us to face these challenges together. So I really like to thank Noelia and Sergio. Any closing remarks, Sergio?
I feel in good hands with you, Noelia. Thank you for for that presentation. We have huge challenges ahead of us. As I said at the beginning, sustainability is not new to the organization, but this renewed sense of urgency brings quite a few challenges. Some of the key words or concepts mentioned by you: partnership. The UN Secretary General opened the COP26 in Scotland saying there is a surplus of confusion and lack of credibility when it comes to climate change. So we are all trying to help here, but we need to, what we discussed last night, to combine our talents, pit bulls, cats, everyone, combine our talents, because this is much bigger than our individual contributions. That means that we need to go to other organizations, not with an idea of how can I substitute you, but with a concept of how can I help, how can we join forces. And then the members, all the ISO members, 167, that is our network, and that is our strength as well. This will not be solved from Geneva. This is something we need to do together. Then about the IWA 42, I think there is a big lesson there in terms of, yes, we can. We developed our guiding principles on net zero in 3 months. 3 months. Involving over 1,000 people from over 100 countries. So standardization, we have a bit of a reputation in doing things very well but very slowly. We can also do it in 3 months, and we demonstrated that to the world. And the third one is, how do we work with our technical community? Javier, the chair of the TMB and VP Technical Management, to share with them this sense of urgency and to go beyond the business as usual, the strategic business plans, and to identify some areas that require an urgent solution, an urgent response from the technical community. Just to give you an example, hydrogen is something that everybody's talking about. We have a very good technical committee on hydrogen. We share the business plan of the committee with our colleagues from IRENA, the International Agency on Renewable Energy, and they help us identify where the big urgencies are in that pipeline. So how do we work with that technical committee to make sure that they can deliver on a timely manner what the world needs in terms of hydrogen? So this is really a very interesting and beautiful, I think, challenge that we have in front of us. And we have really the capacity to make a big contribution to the world, not only to the standardization community, but to the world, so we can respond to those global challenges. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I would like to even give that response a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That has been tremendous encouragement, really, to not make it business as usual and to treat to our action with urgency. And now there's a pathway, you know, there's a family and there are guidelines. Sergio, we'd like to thank you so much. And then we will invite now to the table to continue our discussions and our intervention on climate change, Mr. Amaury Santos, and representing the IEC Latin America and Caribbean Regional Director, Mr. Amaury Santos. He is an electrical engineer, has a Bachelor of Civil Law, specialization in international business and trade, and since 2006 is responsible for the IEC Latin America and Caribbean Regional Center that is located in Sao Paulo, in Brazil, Secretary of the IEC Board Task Force 3 on UN SDGs since 2022, and he has over 20 years of professional experience in multinational companies, in the commercial areas of business, marketing, and technical products and systems for low, medium, high, and extra high voltage equipment and systems. Mr. Santos, it is a pleasure to have you with us, and we welcome your remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heading. Can you hear me? Yep, thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. Many thanks for BNSI and for inviting us, and Copant to invite us to present the IC initiatives in the fight against the climate change. I think we need to start sometimes as the beginning of IEC. IEC was founded in 1906, following the St. Louis, Missouri World's Fair, where electrical power was the central focus. It was very clear to the scientists and engineers that the standards were needed not only to advance research, create markets, and stimulate development, but also for safety and performance of the application of the new technology. Much time has passed, but these principles have never been forgotten, but added to other issues that were demanded by society. And today, we are in the same situation with new things to be issued. We now jump to 2022, when IC members approved the current strategic plan, whose strategic themes are: first, enable a